Dolley Madison was truly our first lady. And people just like fell in love with that term. And after that, every wife of a president was known as a first lady.
Hello. Today we're talking about Frances Cleveland, wife of Grover Cleveland. So, basically, Grover Cleveland gets elected president, and he was just like a fat, lonely man living alone in that White House. He was like, okay, I'm in a very unique situation. I'm not married, and I need a chick that's going to be the first lady. Rose Cleveland, Grover's lesbian sister, was like, let's invite the Emma Folsom lady to a White House something. So, Emma went to the White House, and everyone was like, I think he's gonna marry Emma Folsom. That's going to be the way this shakes down. But then, Groves, kind of saw Emma's daughter, Frances, beautiful 21-year-old girl. And he was like, how can I hit that? It was romantic, and he wound up being like, let's just you and me take a little tour of this White House situation. So he took her out to some balcony that's all romantic or whatever. And he was just like, look at this, look at this. He's like, I live in the most expensive house in America. It's fabulous. So she looked at it and was like, this is fabulous. I could maybe see myself being the first lady. But then Emma Folsom saw that Grover was jockeying on her daughter Frances. She was like, okay, I think you're about to get with the guy that I like, which is bogus. You just get out of the country. So she sends her to Europe for 1 year after her graduation. But unbeknownst to her own damn self, Grover Cleveland wrote Frances a letter and was like, let's get married. And Frances wrote back yes, I will marry you. It was one of those it was a Chloe and Lamar sort of 9-day wedding situation where they very quickly announced their engagement. Grover was like, Frances was gonna be the main bitch. The press freaked out. So Grover was like, okay, well, I will be fully committed to a certain woman, and I will be fully committed to a woman that's my husband, wife. Wait, what was it saying? I didn't eat today. That's probably so bad.
We need to get some food in you.
Okay, wait, let's see you. Oh, honey, cute. I'm so proud of you. 1, place frog and nuggets. Frog and... Okay. Thank you.
What do you think?
Curling up. So, they did that, and the press was, hounding. This was the first time that some president, married a girl while he was in the White House. She was kind of like an it girl. Every time she was on a magazine cover, it would move mad units. It's her image was really exploited, and people were putting her everywhere. Everything from, household cleaning products to, small personal items. Pill boxes, wooden things, because they felt that yeah, this girl will sell shit. But she was like, whatever, you guys can bastardize me and turn me into all of these different commercial products. Actually, I'm a college educated woman, I'm put together, and people are interested in me in a way that they haven't been interested in other first ladies. And I'm going to blow that up. If everyone's going to be paying attention to me, let's make sure they're paying attention to me for the right reasons. And by the way, I would like to be called Frank. I mean, you can call me Frances, you can call me Frank, but mostly Frank.
It's pretty cool, a girl saying she wants to be called Frank.
I mean, that's the thing, is she's a down-ass bitch. She's every single Saturday, I'm going to meet with the working women of Washington. And there would be lines forming outside of the White House. Frances Cleveland, saw 2 young girls eating out of a dumpster one day. She's like, that's not right. This is not right. And so she started a charity called, the Home for Friendless Colored Girls. I'm gonna say, that's a brutal name for a charity. Can you be quiet? Wait 1 second. Okay, that's good. But she had all this going on. So like Grover, he was like, I don't want my wife especially, women shouldn't bother their head with politics, but like especially my wife should not be bothering her head with politics. Like hold on, where's my lighter? Thank you. She was the one that said like, yeah, okay. Groves, you're telling me that I can't have a political opinion, or you're telling me whatever, but like, it, these are my girls. Like, I'm gonna have these people, I'm gonna shake all of their hands, I'm gonna hear their thoughts, I'm gonna hear their voices. And she went out of her way to support women. Like, she was so charitable, she never stopped. And on her very last day in the White House, 23,000 people came out to meet her. And she was like, thanks so much. She's great. I think she's like, honestly, I'm in love with her. Like, I think she's the greatest first lady ever.
Cheers.
Cheers to day drinking.
Day drinking. Oh.
College.
Hello. Today we're gonna talk about Edith Wilson, the first female president of the United States. Woodrow Wilson was the president of America, the United States of America. Edith Wilson was the goddamn president's wife. So Woodrow Wilson, he had 18 months left in office, and he had a stroke. His doctor was like, Woodrow Wilson has had a stroke. A big stroke. Like, we can't move, y'all. Stroke. So, what you gonna do? And Edith was like, well, who I love is this man. For who he is. And who he is a guy who wants to be president for some fucking reason. So if I don't, just ignore that. Just ignore that. If I don't help him be president, what a kind of wife am I? The doctor was like, you gotta run the country, because this guy's out for the count. So Edith was like, no problem, I got this. Shut up, sit down, I am in charge now. Can I get my cheesy bread I brought?
Your what?
Cheesy bread that I brought.
Can we finish this part?
What part?
The part that we want to do.
I did it bad.
We're still doing it. All right. Oh.
I don't want the bread anymore. So Edith Wilson, she told America, hey guys, excuse me, my husband, the president, he's very tired and he will be resting. He's very tired, saying he needs to rest. And she even went to Congress and was like, hey, no big deal. I'm giving him everything you're saying, Congress. I'm giving him all the letters and the things. So what do you guys think of this rule or law or thing that we're working on? And they'd be like, whatever, we think that. And she'd bring it to Woodrow, who was like half awake. And she'd be like, all right, well, Congress is like, blah, blah, blah. And he'd be like, And she was like, well, I guess I'll compromise. I'm just gonna make the decisions myself. So basically, Edith Wilson was the first female president. She ran memos between Congress and him. Congress is like, all right, what? What is going on? So Congress picked this one Republican senator, Albert Fall. They're like, Albert, go see what his true condition is. Go see what Wilson's true condition is. So Albert Fall shows up. He's like, can we come in and see the true condition? She's not stupid. She's like, yeah, sure, come on in. So Albert Fall comes in. It was like, yep, this is him making decisions every day. And then I take thank you, honey. And I take the papers from him that I don't understand because I'm just some dumb broad. And Edith just propped up Woodrow in bed, like waving, like, hey. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And she's like, bye. And then they leave. That's how dumb government is. We had a woman running this country. And guess what? You could go, nothing good happened, but I could go, nothing bad happened. 9/11 didn't happen on her watch. Disneyland with Johnny Depp at the Haunted Mansion that's all Tim Burton. That didn't happen on her watch. Christmas and Halloween combined. A lot of things. Basically, everyone at this point is like, where is the president? Where is our boss? Whoever in the name of God is like, our boss is missing. We can't wait to get him back. Nobody wants to see their boss. Ow. So she literally is like, I can feel the heat on me. I know what I'll do. I'll set up a photo shoot because they can sense America breathing down their neck. And they prop up Woodrow Wilson in the Oval Office. So he's like sitting there and they like move his arm and then they just release that to the press. And that's how dumb people were back then. They're like, oh, there's the president sitting there signing a document. What the heck were we worried about? He seems to be all at work and so that's all fine. That's how she ran the country.
I'm Jenny Johnson, and we're about to talk about First Lady Dolley Madison. So buckle up. All right, or something. So Dolley Madison, the wife to the President of the United States, James Madison. Dolley smoked, Dolley drank, Dolley dipped snuff. Dolley was a big party monster, and everyone loves her. At the time, the White House was under construction. So Dolley jumps in with this architect and she starts getting drapes and she starts getting paintings and she makes the White House like awesome. I'm gonna take a drink now.
Yeah, do it.
Uh-huh. And I put my pinky out so you know I'm a lady.
I thought that's what you were doing.
But then the War of 1812 happens. So when Britain, when they arrived on the shores, these British guys show up and they're like, awesome, like no one's here, so we'll just drop anchor and start trashing the place. While Dolley and James were in the White House, they get word that, holy shit, these guys have landed and they're heading this way. So James Madison's like, you know what, I'm gonna get on a horse and I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna be like, guess what, knock knock, president's here. And she's like, okay, see you for dinner. James leaves. She stays in the White House while everybody else in Washington was kind of being pussies and leaving. And she's like, holy shit. James just left on a horse and the shit's going down. Like, I can hear cannons going off. I can hear the shit happening. So Dolley was like, show Washington that I'm not leaving, everyone else can be pussies and they can leave. I've got my spyglass and I'm just gonna be checking the shit out. I'm gonna take care of everything. Until this guy, he knocks on the door and is like, everything's gone to shit. The 100 guys that were securing the White House, they're gone because they're pussies. You gotta get the out. British ass are about to come take a giant dump on Washington and they're gonna the White House up. She's like, I gotta pack my She started taking the red velvet curtains, silver serving dishes, and all the china from the White House. But then she's like, there's this beautiful portrait of George Washington. I'm not gonna leave that. She tells the servants, get that portrait out of there. And they took the portrait out, and one of the guys was like, okay, I'll just like roll it up. And she's like, no, guys, we're not rolling it up. You know, like, this is not, you know, it's not a Jimi Hendrix poster. The British arrive, you know, they're just like, burn the shit down. Like, burn the shit out of it. Y'all smile and wave at me real quick. Okay, I gotta Instagram this. She leaves, but then it's like, oh, snap, Declaration of Independence. So she takes that, I mean, in like just enough time to get out. So they trash Washington. You know, they're just really being ass. So Dolley Madison takes all the important things that meant something to this country before she left. So post all of this terrible, burning up shit. All these people in Congress are like, Washington is like LA riots times 10. Why don't we just move to Philadelphia? Let's take a vote. And James Madison was like, great, this sucks. Everyone hates me and thinks that this war was my fault. And Dolley was like, I know, but what we need to do is convince these idiots that they can't be voting this way just because they're scared. I'm gonna throw some parties, because you know what I do best? Party. So she would have these parties at the Octagon House, this like tricked out brick place. She would work the room like, you know what? I realize everyone wants to get out of Washington because it's burned to shit. It's not like that. Like, you're voting for stupid shit. Don't remove us from Washington. The White House is a symbol of this, what we are. Cheers. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers. After 4 months of partying, they looked at Dolley and they were like, you know what, Dolley? We just party for 4 months and you convince us this is where the White House is gonna be, Washington. And one day, maybe Abraham Lincoln, we don't know who he is at this point, but he's gonna do stuff. And they decided that at Dolley Madison's parties. So Dolley rocked the shit out of America. And Dolley Madison was truly our first lady. And people just like fell in love with that term. And after that, every wife of a president was known as a first lady. So today, in the White House, where that portrait that Dolley saved of George Washington hangs, looking directly onto it is the portrait of Dolley Madison. She's looking out for GW. And you know what? That's pretty awesome. And yeah, that's why Dolley rips the shit up. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Nicole Byer, and today I'm going to tell you a story about Catwoman versus Lady Bird. Cheers. Oh, hold on, let me get drunk.
Whoa!
Okay, so the year is 1967, and Eartha Kitt has been cast as Catwoman on Batman, and it's like the first time that a black lady has been allowed to be a villain, but also like sexy. She'd be like, yes, I'm doing things that I think are good. And the Batman's like, no, bitch. Pow, boom, pig. And Catwoman would be like, no, stop, leave me alone.
Zing zang.
Zing zang.
Police brutality.
Eartha Kitt spends her off time trying to help at-risk youth. She is invited to the White House under this pretense that we're going to talk about like underprivileged youth and at-risk youth. So on January 18th, 1968, Eartha Kitt goes to the Women's Doer Lunch, which is insane because that name probably had to be approved by several different people. So then Lady Bird Johnson, who is Lyndon B. Johnson's wife, she was like, look at us. We're nice white women having a luncheon to help those little dark youths. So anyway, Lyndon B comes into the luncheon and he is like, hello, hi, nice that you're here. Eartha Kitt goes, excuse me, Lyndon B. Johnson, like, you're the president. What are you doing for like at-risk youth? And he says, yeah, good question. But I think it's better solved by mothers at home. So I'm gonna leave. Bye-bye. He leaves, and then Eartha Kitt was just like, so she gets up in front of all these people, and she was like, wait a minute, women doers? No, these are women don'ters. And she was like, listen, the reason why they take pot and get high in the streets is because you are taking them from their mothers and you're shipping them off to Vietnam. Lady Bird was like, oh, no, I have never had someone make me feel the way she's made me feel. I will ruin Eartha Kitt's career. I'm like genuinely upset that there's no pizza here.
What?
I've been wanting to order pizza. I'm the hungriest hippo here. Can someone please order, like, truly?
Pizza there at the end. I promise.
I want pizza.
Okay, we were in the middle of the Ladybird luncheon.
Should I start over? So anyway, it all started at that moment. And then Bird Lady, Lady Bird calls the CIA and she goes, yo, listen, this bitch, I don't like this bitch. You gotta find everything you can about her so I can send it to other people so she doesn't work. She's like a Batman villain. Lady Bird is just like, destroy her! So the CIA was knocking on Eartha Kitt's friends' doors to interview ex-lovers. And they were like, hey, do you know Eartha Kitt? Is she bad? And then people were like, she liked to fuck. Like,
What? Is that what it was?
it was a lot of her sexual activity. So like, oh yeah, she bad, she liked to fuck. She's nasty, she's promiscuous, she's like smoked weed or whatever. So the CIA came to the conclusion that she's a sadistic nymphomaniac. Lady Bird said to the CIA, perfect. Is the pizza here?
Dun, dun, dun. Oh! Where's this from? Pizza City?
I don't know, but I'm happy with it. So anywho, Batman ends, and Eartha had all these contracts to do shows in clubs, but the CIA and the Secret Service are like telling club owners, being like, you can't hire Eartha Kitt. He's just like, you can't do it. So she went to one club and they were like, no. And she said, well, go to another one. She went to another one, they were like, seats taken. And she said, what is happening? Fucking Lady Bird gets Eartha Kitt blacklisted from performing in the United States. So she goes to Europe because she can't work here no more. And 6 years later, Eartha gets a call from Seymour Hersh. He's like, yo, girl, I don't know if you know this. And she was like, tell me. There's a whole dossier where people are talking shit about you. They're talking about your like sexual productivity. That's not a word. And she, ooh, I tickled myself. And she was just like, oh, that sucks. Lady Bird ruined my life. And then Broadway director Jeffrey Holder is like, yo, Eartha, be in my production at Timbuktu. And she says, okay. Beautiful black men carry her on stage. They're all like oiled up and they're just like, whoo, Eartha! And she like lands on stage and she goes, I'm back. And then everyone's like, yes, bitch! This is so exciting! Ah! Oh, shit! We glad you here! So she like feels like, she fills the whole, it was great. Eartha Kitt was one of the greatest songstresses, actresses alive, and Lady Bird like ruined her career. Like, it's just nuts. I love Eartha Kitt.
Hello, my name is Paget Brewster, and today we're going to talk about Eleanor Roosevelt and the communist sniper.
Cheers.
Nostrovia.
Nostrovia.
Oh, spit. Okay. Our story begins in 1941. It was the Second World War, and the U.S. was fighting Japan. And Russia was fighting the Nazis. And Russia is suffering. So Joseph Stalin calls Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and he's like, FDR, my friend, can you help me out here, please? I'm getting my ass kicked here in Russia, by these Nazis, because
Nazis.
not Nancy's.
I didn't say Nancy's. I
Oh, I
said
thought you said-
Nazis.
Nazis, yeah, I misheard you. And Franklin's like, it's not up to me, man. I understand what you're talking about. It's a shit show, but I got Congress. I got the American people. I can't help you out right now because no one supports me. So Stalin's like, okay, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna send someone over there. Pavlichenko, huge sniper, big deal, highly feared, the greatest sharpshooter in the history of mankind. Just meet with my sniper. So in July of 1942, Franklin Delano Roosevelt and his wife Eleanor are like, oh, what's happening today in the White House? We always have stuff to do. And Franklin says, oh, Eleanor, we gotta meet with this sniper. This is being sent from the Red Army. And the sniper is a 25-year-old woman named Lyudmila Pavlichenko.
Say it again.
Lyudmila Pavlichenko.
Lyudmila
Pavlichenko.
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 I really like you. We're friends. What?
I'm just letting you finish. As a gentleman.
You are a gentleman, but with just the right amount of a bastard. Shit. Oh, no, I'm drunk. So she says to them, there is no color line. There is no male-female segregation in the Red Army. We are a nation of people who want to defend our motherland. And Eleanor, who is a feminist and a human rights advocate, f***ing badass, takes Franklin aside and says, this girl, this tomboy, sharpshooting, genius killer, I can take her on the road and she will get us enough American support to go after the Nazis. President Franklin Roosevelt is like, okay, if you think that can happen, go for it. So they get on a train and they're traveling across the US, and the American press starts hearing about it. Girl sniper sent from Russia. She does town hall meetings, she meets with the local press. But all they want to know is, why don't you wear blush? Are you allowed to wear makeup on the front lines? And then what journalist tells her, your uniform, the skirt's too long, it's drab, you look fat. And she's like, what the f are they? I'm crawling through the mud with a coyotes. The coyote's eating the neighbor's cat. Well, we gotta wait this out, right? So it's not funny. It's a serious thing. They finally get to Chicago halfway through their journey, and backstage, Eleanor Roosevelt is Burgess Meredith from Rocky. She's just massaging her shoulders and saying, come on, you can do this. I know they're asking stupid questions. They're silly questions. Don't worry about it. You can make it through. I need you to talk to the American public the way you've talked to me and shame America into joining the Second Front. So Lyudmila walks out on a Chicago stage and says, gentlemen, I am but 25 years old, and I have killed 309 fascist occupants in my country. This uniform I wear, that you say is ugly, that you say makes me look fat, this uniform has dirt on it and the blood of my enemies on it, and I wear it with pride. Don't you think you've been hiding behind my back for too long? And the crowd goes batshit, bananas, clapping. And Eleanor, she's backstage like, yeah, Lyudmila, I love it, go girl. Oh, Jesus. I got a burp, my stomach's making noise. I'm trying to talk about World War II. It's too much. Okay, so Eleanor Roosevelt and Lyudmila Pavlichenko are going from town to town, and she's no longer a curiosity or an oddity. She's like this impressive folk hero. She's an amazing woman. who was so young, doing the work of dozens of men. At 25 years old, when I was 25, I think I plucked off all my eyebrows and dressed like Prince. Anyway, 15 years later, we are in a Cold War with Russia. Eleanor is in Moscow and has a political minder that says you can't really talk to anyone about anything. You're gonna eat some sable fish, you're gonna drink some vodka, you're gonna wear a furry hat showing that it's not that bad between Russia and America. That's your job, lady. And she's like, no. I'm Eleanor goddamn Roosevelt, and I'm gonna go and see my f***ing pal. This emissary takes Eleanor Roosevelt to Lyudmila Pavlichenko's house. This woman who was a national hero, but she's living in this tiny 2-room apartment. And Lyudmila opens the door. Hello, Lyudmila. Hello, Mrs. Roosevelt. Like, Eleanor and Lyudmila are sitting formally with the Russian minder. And at a certain point, Lyudmila makes an excuse and says, oh, sorry. Have to leave. And finds a way to take Eleanor away from the Russian minder. And she's half laughing and half crying, and she's hugging Eleanor and saying, oh, my friend, it's so good to see you after all these years. And think about all the friends we met on our trip across the US. And Eleanor is so happy to talk to her, just saying, oh, Lyudmila, we did have a great time, didn't we? These two incredibly powerful, smart women saved millions of lives by engendering the American public into joining the war effort. And it was such an important part of history. But it's just two women happy to see each other and saying, do you remember that time we went to Chicago? Shit. Ugh, God damn it. I think it's really touching. Cheers. Sorry.
Don't talk. Oh, you gotta do it again. You talked.
What?